You're watching the Defense Dynamics and I'm Danveer Singh coming to you from New Delhi. In this episode of Defense Dynamics, we take a closer look at India's accelerating military modernization and the shifting global security landscape. From a massive 2.38 lakh crore rupees defense push cleared by the Defense Acquisition Council chaired by India's Defense Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh to next generation capabilities that span long-range strike, mobility and unmanned warfare. An extended range BrahMos missile pushing India's strike envelope. A new medium transport aircraft set to transform the logistics and remotely piloted strike aircraft, marking a shift towards the future battlefield. In the air, Indian Air Force prepares to upgrade its MiG-29 fleet with advanced short-range air-to-air missiles, enhancing its close combat edge in high-intensity dogfighting scenario. On the ground, a major boost to infantry firepower as Prahar Light Machine Guns are delivered under Make in India initiative, strengthening frontline capabilities and the mobility. And in my take, we take a critical global question. What happens if United States puts boots on the ground in Iran? 3 possible pathways and 1 dangerous strategic trap. All this and much more, but first the global defense headlines.
Strengthening India's indigenous defense capabilities under Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India, the Ministry of Defense has signed a 1,950 crore rupees contract with Bharat Electronics Limited for the procurement of 2 mountain radars for the Indian Air Force. Exercise Deep Shakti, a high-intensity tri-services exercise validating integrated capability for rapid response along coastal and island defense operations, was conducted from 24th to 28th March of 2026. In seamless synergy, Indian Army, Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force executed coordinated amphibious assaults, maritime domain operations and complex beach landing drills employing next-generation equipment and drones, reaffirming precision, jointness and mission-ready interoperability. Goa Shipyard Limited marked a significant achievement with ceremonial launch of next-generation offshore patrol vessel INS Sachi for the Indian Navy and the delivery of ICGS Achal to Indian Coast Guard on March 31, 2026. Japan has operationalized its newly developed Type 25 standoff missile system, strengthening its counter-strike capability, collectively referred to as Type 25 weapons. The system comprises of Type 25 surface-to-ship guided missile or 25 SSM and the Type 25 hypervelocity guiding projectile 25 HGP. Indonesia has signed a contract to acquire Pilatus PC-24 light transport aircraft for the Indonesian Air Force. The contract signed between Pilatus and the PTE System Solution Indonesia, the MOD authorized contractor, covers 12 PC-24 aircrafts. The acquisition will support the Indonesian Air Force's transport, pilot training, air transport and liaison operations.
In a major push to India's military modernization, the Defense Acquisition Council has cleared a sweeping set of defense proposals worth nearly 2.38 lakh crore rupees. Chaired by India's Defense Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh, the approvals mark one of the most significant capability expansion in recent years, from long-range strike systems to transport aircraft and combat drones. The decision span land, air and maritime domains. The 3 key takeaways stand out: extended range BrahMos missile, a new medium transport aircraft program, and the induction of remotely piloted strike aircraft. 3 decisions, 1 message: India is preparing for the next generation warfare.
India already operates a diverse mix of legacy and modern military systems across its armed forces. For the Air Force, transport operations rely heavily on its aging platforms like the Antonov AN-32 and IL-76 aircrafts, both of which are now nearing obsolescence. In the air defense, the systems like the S-400 long-range surface-to-air missiles are being inducted to counter high-end aerial threats. The Su-30 MKI continues to serve as the backbone of India's fighter fleet, though engine overhauls are now required to extend its operational life. For strike capability, the BrahMos cruise missile, jointly developed with Russia, has been a cornerstone of precision warfare, though its earlier range was limited to around 290 kilometers due to international restrictions. On the ground, the Army operates artillery systems like the Dhanush gun, along with anti-tank munition and battlefield communication networks. But these require upgrades in range, reliability, and real-time coordination. At sea, the Coast Guard carries out patrol, reconnaissance, and rescue missions, but needs faster and more versatile platforms for coastal operations. These existing systems form a strong base, but evolving threats demand greater range, speed, automation, and integration.
So what changes with this new round of approvals? What exactly is India adding to its arsenal?
The Defence Acquisition Council has now approved a wide spectrum of new systems, targeting combat, surveillance, mobility, and logistics. For the Indian Army, key approvals include the Air Defence Tracked Systems for real-time air defence control and reporting, armor-piercing tank ammunition to boost anti-tank lethality, high-capacity radio relays to ensure secure and fail-proof communications, Dhanush gun system upgrades to enhance long-range artillery strike capability, and runway-independent aerial surveillance systems for improved battlefield surveillance. For the Indian Air Force, the focus is on both capability and sustainment. Medium transport aircraft to replace aging AN-32 and IL-76 fleets. Additional S-400 systems to strengthen long-range air defenses, remotely piloted strike aircraft to enable precision strikes and ISR missions. Overhauling of Su-30 aero engines to extend fleet's life and operational readiness. For Coast Guard, heavy-duty air-cushioned vehicles for high-speed coastal patrols, reconnaissance, search and rescue, and logistics. Together, these systems aim to strengthen India's combat readiness across all domains.
But beyond numbers and platforms, the real question is, how do these systems change India's battlefield advantage?
One of the most significant upgrades come from the extended range BrahMos missile. Now being developed with a range of nearly 800 kilometers, it marks a major leap from its earlier 290 kilometers limitation. This extended reach enables deep strikes on high-value targets, greater standoff capability for naval platforms, reduced risk to aircraft and ships launching the missile. For the Air Force, this means striking targets without entering contested airspace, and for the Navy, it expands maritime dominance across larger areas. At the same time, the Medium Transport Aircraft program addresses a critical logistic gap. The new aircraft is expected to carry 18 to 30 tons of payload, operate from semi-prepared airstrips, and enable rapid troop and equipment deployment. This is crucial in high-altitude regions like Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh, where logistics often determines operational success. Beyond combat, it will support humanitarian missions, disaster relief, and strategic airlift operations. Then comes
a transformational shift. Remotely piloted strike aircrafts. India's plan to induct 4 squadrons signals a move from surveillance drones to offensive unmanned systems. These platforms will conduct precision strikes, loiter over battle zones for extended durations, operate in high-risk environments without risking pilots. Future warfare could see drone swarms overwhelming the air defenses, AI-assisted targeting, and integrated man-unmanned operations. In parallel, systems like S-400 enhance air defense against long-range threats, while improved communication and surveillance systems ensure battlefield awareness and coordination. Taken together, these upgrades will enhance combat effectiveness, surveillance depth, mobility and logistics, and overall multi-domain integration. This is not just modernization, it's capability transformation.
And while the capability boost is clear, when will these systems actually enter the service?
In the current financial year alone, the DAC has approved 55 proposals worth 6.73 lakh crore rupees and signed contracts worth 2.28 lakh crore rupees across 503 proposals. Both figures mark the highest ever in a single financial year. This indicates not just intent but execution at scale. The focus is clear: strengthen indigenous production, reduce import dependency, and accelerate capability building across all forces. These systems will play a crucial role in bridging current gaps while preparing for future threats.
The 2.38 lakh crore rupees defense push marks a decisive step in India's military transformation, from longer range strike weapons to next generation transport aircraft and combat drones. The focus is on building a force that is faster, smarter, and more integrated. It reflects a shift from incremental upgrades to comprehensive capability building across domains, because modern warfare is no longer defined by just firepower, but it is defined by reach, mobility, intelligence, and speed. And with these decisions, India is preparing not just for today's challenges, but for the battlefields of tomorrow. In a major boost to India's air combat capability, the Indian Air Force is preparing to upgrade its MiG-29 fleet with advanced short-range air-to-air missile, or ASRAAMs as they are known. This is a move that is expected to significantly enhance the aircraft's close combat performance, especially in the high altitude and high intensity dogfight scenarios. With modern threats evolving rapidly, the integration reflects a broader push to upgrade legacy platforms with next generation weapon systems.
The Indian Air Force is set to integrate ASRAAM onto its MiG-29 UPG fighter jets, a move aimed at dramatically improving short-range air combat capability. On March 25th, the Ministry of Defense issued a request for proposals for the integration and testing of this missile system. This project goes beyond just missile deployment. It includes specialized launchers, supporting equipment, and training for both pilots and the ground crew. ASRAAM, developed by the MBDA consortium, represents advanced European missile technology. It is already operational on India's Tejas and Jaguar aircrafts, proving compatibility with existing platforms. With a range exceeding 25 kilometers, ASRAAM offers more than double the reach of the aging R-73 missile, which currently equips MiG-29 and is limited to about 10 to 15 kilometers. This upgrade effectively replaces outdated Soviet-era weaponry with modern high-performance systems.
But beyond just range, what makes ASRAAM or the ASRAAMs a game changer, and how it is going to transform the combat dynamics in the air?
ASRAAM brings a significant leap in both technology and combat capability. First, its fire and forget guidance system. This allows pilots to launch the missile and immediately disengage without needing to track and target continuously. Second, its advanced heat-seeking technology. This enables precise targeting even against highly maneuverable enemy aircrafts. Third, its performance. With speeds exceeding Mach 3, ASRAAM is designed for high-speed interception in dynamic dogfight scenarios. The missile measures 2.9 meters in length, weighs 88 kilograms, and carries a high explosive warhead, ensuring lethal accuracy even at extended ranges. In comparison, rival systems like China's PL-10 deployed on J-10C, J-16 and J-20 jets offer similar range, but defense analysts note that ASRAAM's superior rocket motor provides better range and kinematic performance. This creates a tactical edge for India, particularly in potential engagements along contested borders.
And now this upgrade is not just about new weapons, it's about extending the life and relevance of the existing frontline fighter aircrafts.
India currently operates over 55 MiG-29 aircrafts, including twin-seater trainers, forming a key part of its air defense network. Originally inducted in year 1987, these jets have remained central to air superiority missions, particularly along the Western Front. The ASRAAM integration will phase out the aging R-73 missiles across the fleet, aligning the aircraft with modern fourth-generation standards. The upgrade is expected to take place between 2026 and 2028, depending on procurement timelines. Importantly, a 2021 agreement between MBDA and Bharat Dynamics Limited has laid the foundation for local production. A dedicated facility in Hyderabad is being developed, supporting the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative and reducing import dependence. Operationally, the MiG-29 continues to play a critical role, capable of both air superiority and ground strike missions. It has already proven its effectiveness in recent combat scenarios, including Operation Sindoor in 2025. The addition of ASRAAM addresses a key gap in short-range lethality, especially against advanced threats like China's J-20 or Pakistan's JF-17 Block 3. At a broader level, the upgrade reflects a strategic approach, enhancing existing platforms rather than replacing them entirely. It also helps extend the MiG-29's service life into 2030s, bridging the gap until next-generation systems like the AMCA are operational.
The integration of ASRAAM marks a decisive upgrade for MiG-29s, transforming them into a more lethal and future-ready platforms. It reflects a larger shift in India's defense strategy, where modern technology is being used to upgrade existing assets quickly and effectively. In an increasingly contested region, such enhancements are not just about capability, but deterrence, because in modern aerial warfare, speed, precision, and adaptability define the edge. And with ASRAAM, India is sharpening that very edge. In a major boost to India's military modernization and indigenous defense manufacturing, the Indian Army has begun receiving a new generation of light machine guns under the Make in India initiative. The first batch of Prahar Light Machine Guns, designed to enhance firepower, mobility, and operational efficiency, are being delivered now ahead of schedule. The induction marks a significant step in replacing the legacy infantry weapons and strengthening front-line capabilities.
In a significant boost to Indian Army's firepower, Adani Defence and Aerospace has delivered the first batch of 2,000 Prahar Light Machine Guns or LMGs manufactured under the Make in India initiative. The 7.62 mm caliber weapon has been produced at the company's small arms complex on the outskirts of Gwalior. The facility has an annual production capacity of up to 1 lakh firearms and 300 million rounds of small caliber ammunition. The delivery comes at a time when the Army is steadily upgrading its infantry arsenal, replacing older systems and enhancing combat readiness across diverse terrains from high altitude borders to counter-insurgency zones. The consignment was dispatched nearly 11 months ahead of schedule. The former flag-off was conducted by A. Anbarasu, Director General Acquisition at the Ministry of Defence, who commended the project's timely execution.
It's very heartening that today we have plugged dispatch of 2,000 LMG Prahar guns by saving 600 days and dispatching it well ahead of schedule. As it has been mentioned by Ashish ji, the scale and speed are very critical for improving the Indian defence industrial ecosystem.
The Prahar Light Machine Gun is a 7.62 into 51 mm NATO caliber weapon manufactured in India by Adani Defence and Aerospace in partnership with Israel Weapon Industries. It is based on the Negev NG7, a next generation light machine gun designed for modern infantry operations. The weapon features a precision engineered barrel with a 1 in 12 inch twist rate, ensuring improved accuracy and stability over long distances. With an effective range suited for sustained battlefield engagement, its 20-inch chrome-lined barrel enhances durability and reduces wear during sustained firing. Weighing around 7.95 kilograms without ammunition, the Prahar is lighter than many comparable systems, improving battlefield mobility. The Prahar can be fed through both belt and magazine configurations, offering tactical flexibility in combat situations. It fires between 600 to 750 rounds per minute, with ability to reach up to 1000 rounds per minute under optimal conditions. This first batch is part of a larger order of 41,000 Prahar light machine guns placed by the Indian Armed Forces, one of the biggest infantry weapons procurement in recent years. Adani Defence and Aerospace is set to ramp up production to nearly 1,000 LMGs per month starting April 2026, aiming to complete the entire order within 3 years, significantly ahead of original 7 years timeline. Company CEO Ashish Rajvanshi said, "The project reflects not just manufacturing capability but a broader transformation in India's defense ecosystem."
The original timeline which was given to us by the customer has been 7 years plus, but I can assure you that in the next 3 years, the full order will be delivered. And to what the policymakers mentioned, saving of 600 days, we are going to save more than 1,500 days on this contract.
For soldiers on the front lines, the Prahar LMG is expected to be a game changer. Its versatility allows deployment in dismounted operations, vehicles, and even airborne missions. Replacing older systems, it offers enhanced mobility, durability, and firepower in challenging combat environments. More importantly, this delivery marks a significant step towards reducing import dependence, strengthening national security, and showcasing India's ability to produce world-class defense equipment at speed.
With the faster deliveries, advanced technology, and a clear push towards indigenization and indigenous production, the Prahar LMG program reflects a broader shift in India's defense strategy. As the armed forces continue to modernize at pace, Such initiatives are expected to play a crucial role in enhancing operational readiness while positioning India as a key player in global defense manufacturing. US ground options in Iran. 3 paths but one escalation ladder. The debate in Washington is no longer theoretical. If the air power and standoff strikes fail to achieve decisive outcomes, the question becomes very inevitable. Do you put boots on the ground in Iran? But this is not a single decision. It is a spectrum of choices, each one deeper, riskier, and harder to reverse. First, the limited ground raid. This is the most calibrated option, short duration, high intensity operation designed to hit, disrupt, and then leave. Think special forces and marine units inserted to seize or destroy critical targets like coastal missile batteries, strategic oil terminals, or even high-value nuclear-linked facilities. The objective over here is not occupation, it is just disruption. And militarily, the United States is exceptionally good at this kind of warfare. But here's the limitation. You can damage Iran's capabilities, you cannot eliminate them. Iran's missile forces are dispersed, hardened, and deeply buried. So even after successful raid, the retaliation will come through drones, proxies, and maritime pressure in the Gulf. A sharp, precise strike, but no decisive end game. Second, the expanded ground campaign. This is where the mission shifts from disruption to denial. Now the objective is not just to hit targets, but to secure and neutralize them. We are talking about multi-access operations, coastal entry points, followed by inland pushes to missile complexes, nuclear infrastructure, and command and control nodes. Not days, but weeks of sustained presence. On paper, this could significantly degrade Iran's warfighting capability and capacity, but the risks multiply instantly because Iran does not fight conventionally alone. It fights through layers of missiles, militia, and maritime choke points. The Strait of Hormuz thus becomes a battlefield. Global shipping becomes a target, energy markets react within hours, and suddenly what began as a military campaign starts looking like a regional war. Operational success, strategic escalation. The third option is a full-scale invasion. This is the most extreme and least likely option. A large-scale ground invasion aimed not just at military targets, but at reshaping the Iranian state itself. Regime change. But this is where history becomes a warning. Iran is not Iraq, it's larger, more populous, more geographically complex, and far more prepared for prolonged resistance. Any invasion would trigger not just battlefield responses, but a nationwide insurgency, and beyond Iran's border, the conflict would expand through proxies, partners, and global alignments. This would not be a campaign, it would be a long war. Maximum ambition, maximum uncertainty. So what is the real choice before Washington? Not whether to act, but how far to go. A raid offers control, but limited impact. A campaign offers impact, but invites escalation. And an invasion offers transformation, but risks a strategic trap. Because deeper the United States gets into Iran, the more complex the battlefield becomes, militarily, regionally, and economically. So the final word on this could be, Iran cannot be neutralized quickly, it cannot be occupied easily, which means any ground operation at any scale is not just a military decision, it's a commitment to escalation, and once that ladder is climbed, coming down becomes the hardest part. That's all we have for you in this edition of Defense Dynamics. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.